YouTube, it's me, your boy, B3, back with another kicking action figure review. Yeah, we have a pretty cool figure today. One I was kind of on the fence about getting, didn't know if I'd grab it, but then I was like, you know what, I like this character, I'm gonna want a figure of him eventually. Might as well go ahead and get one that's a design that I'm pretty familiar with. So here we are, bada bing, bada boom, the Punisher from the Marvel Legends line. Yes, it's like a Jim Lee Punisher look. He's a Walgreens exclusive figure. You can only get him at Walgreens. And he's kind of part of a wave, but kind of not. On the back of the box, it shows the Absorbing Man. Build-A-Figure wave with Ben Reilly, Spider-Man, Spider-Gwen, Morbius the Living Vampire, Jack-O-Lantern, Venom the Beetle, and Speed Demon. But, you know, he's just the Walgreens exclusive. That was just the current wave when he came out, I suppose. Just part of the long line of exclusives, including the Black Ant, as well as Agent Venom, Namor, and first appearance Daredevil. So yeah, Walgreens has had some pretty exclusive stuff in this, and also they've had some. They're gonna have stuff for DC, from Mattel, and they've also had Black Series exclusives. So yeah, it's all pretty cool. And this is a pretty cool figure. So we're going to zoom out a little bit just so we can take a look at El Franco Castle. There is going to be a Marvel Legends of the Netflix version, but I think it's going to be in a multi-pack. And this is a single release you guys can get. And if you want a more comic booky Punisher, you know, this is the way to go. This is the Punisher design I'm most familiar with. Jim Lee. Pretty cool. He's got his big skull, as you can see, connects to the belt with the teeth. Very nice belt. It actually has a lot of good paint detail on the belt. I really like that. This looks kind of like the Grim Reaper mold to me. Or the Reaper mold, you know what I'm talking about. Looks like that. You know, he's got white on the hands with two holding hands. Pretty good. White feet with peg holes. He's got this brace like ammo holder. I don't know how to do weapon stuff, but it has a peg hole in it, and there's a peg hole on his back, so that goes in there. And this is one of his heads, you know, kind of a more grimacy head. He's kind of clenching his teeth, got his little Vietnam band on. You know how it do. So, yeah, I mean, that's pretty cool. Pretty basic for the most part, except for, you know, right up in this region. So yeah, now let's get to some accessories! The first accessory for our Punisher is this white gun. I don't know types of guns, so just this white gun. You can hold it with one hand, you can hold it with two hands. It's neat, but I'm not terribly good about it. His finger is molded to the hand, so it can't go through the trigger. And it's kind of whatever. I don't like white guns with the Punisher. It seems odd. Like, that's a design choice for him. So I'm not crazy about having him with a white gun. I will display him with a gun, though. He is the Punisher, after all. That'd be like displaying Hawkeye without arrows, you know what I'm saying? And here's Punisher with a type of rocket launcher, bazooka-y weapon. I'm not like crazy about it, because it's all bent from the packaging back here. And he can't really hold it terribly proper, as you can see. Because he doesn't have a free trigger finger, so he can't hold guns as well as he should be able to hold guns. You see, he can only hold it about halfway up there. So it's just going to look awkward all the time, no matter how you hold it. Whether it's in a firing position or just like a casual standing position like this, it's just going to look weird. But it's not a bad weapon. It's pretty cool. I like it. I like the coloration. It's neat. And here's Punisher with his interchangeable head. That's right, he does come with an interchangeable head, and I like this head more than the other head. And it's not because of the lack of bandana, even though that's lots of people's reasons. It's a completely different expression. It's more neutral, more serious, where this guy looks like he's in a fighting expression. You know, it's got his hair all slicked back, totally different hairstyle. And it's got more paint detail and stuff on it. You see he's got 5 o'clock shadow on this head. He's got baggy circles on his eyes. This is just more of a on the streets Punisher head, you know? While this is This looks like a Vietnam Rambo head. You know what I mean? I like the on the streets Punisher. That's what this face kind of gives me, and that's what I'm liking. I'm gonna display him with this head for sure. And here's Castle with his last accessory, which is this big ass gun, which he also doesn't hold proper. I don't think I'm gonna display him with the gun after all, just because he doesn't hold them the way I want him to, which blows. I mean, I have other Marvel Legends, like my Bucky cap and stuff, displayed with guns. Figures from all walks, even Hasbro displayed with guns. But this guy, he just, without that trigger finger through there, just doesn't feel secure enough. And it doesn't look right, so I'm not going to display him with a gun. I was going to display him with this gun, which is a cool gun. It's a cool gun. Look at it. It's painted well. It's awesome. Most of the guns I have are very sci-fi, Star Wars-y looking guns in my figure collection. So it's nice to have some actual guns. But yeah, it's just, he just doesn't hold him the way I want him to. Now we're going to talk about articulation on this guy. The head goes up quite far and looks down very far as well. You have side to side, a little bit of a wobble there. That's pretty good. And it interchanges very well. You have up and down on the arms, forward and back. You have a bicep swivel, a double elbow bend, as well as a rotation on the wrist and forward and back. Very, very cool. With the ab crunch, forward, back, painted all the way up. Very nice, very nice. There is a waist swivel, but it's kind of hindered by the belt. You see the belt bends all out when you move it, so I'm not really gonna move him waist-wise. Forward and back on the legs, which is pretty cool. In and out, about that far out. You get a thigh swivel, a double knee bend, pretty good, as well as a boot a swivel, up and down on the foot, and an ankle pivot. So yeah, good looking Punisher. I really do like him. He's a cool fig. He's a very cool figure. So yeah, you know, articulation, pretty standard, honestly. And now let's get into some size comparisons. First up, here's Punisher with some other Hasbro figures from the comics. Here on the left, the Wasp from movie Ultron Build-A-Figure Wave. And on the right, from the Space Venom Build-A-Figure Wave, Electro. Yeah, so you know we got Wasp here. Electro with that, like, thin muscle mold. Pretty cool, you know, I think he looks good with other figures. Next up, here's Punisher with some movie figures. Here on the left are Mark IV SX Iron Man from Civil War. And here on the right are Civil War Black Panther, both from the Civil War Giant Man Build-A-Figure Wave. And lastly, here's Punisher of some Marvel figures that weren't made by Hasbro. Even though this one on the left was released by Hasbro, this is the Toy Biz sculpt for Carnage. And here on the right, we have the amazing Spider-Man figure from Diamond Select Toys. So what are my final thoughts on the Marvel Legends Walgreens exclusive Jim Lee Punisher figure from Hasbro? Pretty cool. Glad I picked it up. I'm glad I have this guy in my collection. I've been wanting a Punisher for a while. I'm glad I finally just broke down and got this dude. I've seen him several times. I finally was at a Walgreens that had several of him instead of just one or two. So I was able to look through them and see which one had the best paint. This is the only one that didn't have too much white or too much black or something on the skull. This is the only one with like a perfect skull. So, very happy I got him. And yeah, his weapons are cool, even though I think he doesn't hold them terribly well. I'm glad we have the interchangeable head option. I don't have a problem with the bandana head. This is just the type of head I'm used to seeing with Punisher, you know what I mean? More of a modern-y Punisher face. So yeah, that's it. Thank you all very much for your support. Remember to rate, comment, and subscribe. Check out all the links in the description below. Facebook, Twitter, etc. And I'll see you all later.